Hi, I'm Scott, your SCAS Video guy, and today it's going to get hot. Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is the NT1 Duel Filament Dryer by FixDry, and it's the subject of today's video. We'll look at some of its features, how much does it cost, how well does it perform, and the things I like and dislike about it. Now, this video is not sponsored by anyone. However, FixDry did send me this unit for review. So let's start out with the cost. How much does this thing cost? Well, it's about 80 bucks or so, which I put this in about a mid-price range of the dryers out there. We can study some of the features that it has here. It's sturdily built. It has the feature of holding two 1 kilogram rolls or one 3 kilogram roll of filament. The top cover here has multiple outlets for your PTFE tube. It has about 10 holes all told on this thing. The front controls have a nice tactile feel to them. You have your on and off switch, your mode selector. The top button here, or the top area here, is your display for your temperatures. Now your temperature range in this thing is from 40 to 70 C. That covers most of the filament you're likely to print. This is one of the higher end features when you can go to 70. So you have like 50 for your PLA, 55C for TPU, 60C for ASA and ABS, 65 for PETG, and 70C for your nylon and your PC. Now, FixDry did include a nice handy manual, and inside the manual there is a nice chart giving you the suggested temperatures and times that you want to use. Now, if you live in a more humid part of the world, then you may wish to increase those times. The range from the timer on this thing, which is right here, is anywhere from 1 minute to 48 hours. And the humidity level is indicated up here in the upper right hand corner. You also have your plus and minus buttons on this side here to raise it up and down. And the buttons have a nice tactical feel to them. Now, how accurate is this thing? That was one of the things I wanted to know. If it says 45C, is it 45C? Well, I've been drying some filament in this for a few minutes or so, actually a couple hours. So let's see. We'll turn this on, give it a shot, and what do we get? 50. So that's pretty good. Now, what are some of the other things that are in it? Well, let's take a look inside. Inside, it has some really nice bearing supported rollers. They're larger than what you normally would see in one of them. Inside the unit, it has a nice 110 watt heater core, which is quite good. Now, the feature I like the most is this thing right here. This thing here is a diverter shroud. And what you do is this gets put down into here, and it diverts the heat away from the rolls. So it's not putting a hot spot on the bottom of your roll. This is exceptionally important if you're using the filament rolls by, if you're going to do a Bamboo Lab refill, where you're going to put your refill into it. And these things here, especially if you print them yourself, well, if you sit them in there without that diverter, it could warp these rollers or these rolls, depending on what you make it from. I've had that happen to me already. Whereas this way here, it diverts it away from it. It circulates all around it evenly, eliminating it from getting hot spots and possibly melting your filament. One of the things I like to put in my spools when I dry them are these little desiccant spools. They hold desiccant in it, and the dryer not only dries your filament, but also dries the desiccant that's inside here. That way, when the unit finishes its duty cycle and turns off, it'll help keep the filament dry until you're ready to use it. Now, you can also just put some filament packets inside the hub area there. That'll have a similar effect. If you choose, you can feed the filament straight into your printer via the PTFE tubes inserted into any one of the holes there. I tested this with some silver PLA and printed out some trophy stands. they came out fantastic, nice and smooth. So if your prints are coming out look like this, well, your filament is wet. The moisture will turn to steam and you will wind up with pock marks and streaks all over your print. If you see that, dry your filament. This is a birdhouse I printed using PETG, and I dried this at 65°C for 8 hours. And look how nice this is, how smooth everything is on it. That's because the filament was dried. Now, for things I don't like about it. Well, when I first got this unit, I had trouble with it. The top cover here was very tight on here, which made it very difficult to get on and even harder to get off. So I spoke to FixDry about this, and they said the more you put it on and off, it would loosen up. Well, that was true for a point. What I ultimately wound up doing is I had to wind up sanding these edges down here, and now it fits just perfectly smooth, really nice. So that may or may not be the case with the one you have or not, but that's what I had with mine. Other than that, that was pretty much it. So, final thoughts. For a mid-price dryer, this has some really nice features. It is well built. It doesn't feel cheap or flimsy. It has a nice heavy feel to it. It has that 110 watt heater unit, which I like. It has a nice big large rollers and stuff that are ball bearinged. It runs temperatures up to 70°C. And my favorite is that directional shroud, which, the exception of the initial tight fitting here, I'm pretty cool with it. I'm overall generally pleased with the unit. Now, if you're interested in getting one of these for yourself, I've included a link down in the description so that you can get one. Plus, FixDry has sent me a coupon code, which I'll put into the description, where you can get 10% off any of the purchases you get from them. How cool is that? Well, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, because if you did, hey, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and until next time, I'm Scott, your SKS video guy, and hey, get out there and print something.